Do you want to know more about model railroad operations? Why don't you stick around and watch this segment, see how we do it on my in-scale model railroad, this AR secondary. Hello everyone, Joe from Central Jersey Conrail and in-scale. Welcome back to the Operations Series. So this month on the Operations Series, we're going to run in the WJSA-39. So just to refresh everybody's memory, the SA-39 calls out of Brown's Yard, travels down the whole Sayerhurst secondary, then cuts off on the Toms River Industrial, heading down into Ciba Geigy. I'm really looking forward to showing everybody this video because all the scenery down at Ciba Geigy is done. I think it's going to be a tremendous video when it's done and edited because the scenery just looks that great. And I'm very excited to get in there and do this job. Okay, so let's go over to Brown's Yard, meet up with the crew. We'll go over our paperwork and then we'll get to work. All right, everyone, so we're over here in the Brown's Yard with the crew of the SA-39. They already have their train assembled. They've conducted their air brake test. They checked out their locomotive. Also, we ensured proper blocking of the car so that the first car is non-hazardous, it's just lime. The second car back is toluene, which is permissible to be the second car back from the locomotive, according to my chart. And then the third car back is chlorine, which is an inhalation hazard, and that's 2 cars back. So that appears to be in compliance with our chart. Okay, so before we get rolling here, let's go over our switch list so you understand what we're doing. We're bringing 8 cars down with us. The car on the rear of the train is just the idler / caboose car for the purpose of this video. That's because it's got the end of train device on it. 7 cars are going into Ciba Geigy. We have 2 for the steam plant. We have 2 for building 105, and we have 3 for building 108. And then we'll be picking up 2 out of the steam plant, 2 out of 105, and 2 out of 108. Okay, so the conductor is going to contact dispatch, and he's going to get his Form D. So the Form D is going to be C1012 C&E number 1980, crew of the SA-39. Circle line 2, operate in a south direction on single track between Browns and TRI. Dispatcher is Desmond. Time effective is going to be 09:48 hours on the fast clock. Okay, so we got our 1 Form D to get us down to the Toms River Industrial. When we get there, the crew's going to contact dispatch and get a 2nd Form D to operate to give us authority on the Toms River Industrial and clear the main. Oh, so the crew's going to open up the turnout for the receiving track, clearing us to the main, and we'll start rolling out. Okay, everyone, so now that we're down here at the Toms River Industrial, what we need to do is get our Form D to pull onto the Toms River Industrial. Then we'll close and lock the turnout. And then we'll get call back dispatch and get our original Form D canceled. Okay, so our new Form D is going to be C102 to C&E number 1980, crew of the SA-39, circle line 2. Operate in both directions on single track between TRI and end of track. Dispatcher's JD. Time effective is 1100 hours. Okay, so now we have our new Form D. We're going to go ahead and pull on to the Toms River Industrial. Okay, so now the crew's going to go ahead and line and lock the turnout on the main. All right, we're going to call dispatch and get cancellation on Form DC 101. And it's going to be 1111 hours. Dispatcher is Desmond. Okay, so now we have our Form D and we have complete authority to operate in both directions on the Toms River Industrial. Okay, so here's what's happening. We have 3 cars that go into 105. I don't think we're going to have enough room to do the move because I got to pull the 2 cars out that are in the frame there, the box cars. So what I'm going to do is we're going to leave our train right here. We're going to go in with just the locomotive, move the box cars and make the hole. We'll come back and pick up the 3 in the front, on the first 3 there. So the covered hopper and the 2 tank cars. Go down and move those into 105. And that'll set us up for our next move. So that's the plan. All right, let's make it happen. All right, so the brakeman is going to be the flagman. He's going to get off the locomotive, and he's going to flag the traffic on Route 37. So he's going to go out and light a fusee. All right, 1980, you're clear to proceed. I'm going to activate the handbrake mechanism. There's an issue with the handbrake. And what the handbrake is, for those who don't know, it's a pin that pops up between the rails to hold the cars. We'll talk more about it later. The car accidentally uncoupled. So, okay, because we're on a slight grade, we're going to set 2 handbrakes. On the first 2 cars. And we're going to uncouple and pull forward. Okay, crew's going to line and lock the turnout for line and open the turnout for 105. All right, 1980 turnouts line for 105, and we're going to pull in and couple onto those 2 boxcars. All right, we're going to couple and connect. We got to release the 2 handbrakes. All right, 1980. Let's pull back out of 105. One more car length, 1980. That's good right there. All right, so what's going on here is I can only make one car move at a time through this little crossover. So we're going to have to break it up here because I want to get these 2 cars on the runaround to make room to bring in the next 3. All right, so now we're going to go down and pick up our next 3 cars. All right, brakeman's going to get off and flag the crossing again. He'll light a fusee. I don't know if you can see it because that tree might be blocking your view, but this will be a quick movement. All right, 1980, pull back 3 car lengths. One more. 1/2. That's good right there. All right, I'll put this handbrake pin up. And back down on it. Okay, so now we're going to set 2 handbrakes. Okay, we'll uncouple. 1980, pull back to my mark. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to put the covered hopper in first, leave the 2 tanks here because they want the covered hopper in the back, and they want the 2 tank cars up forward by the tank unloading spots. So we're in position. We're gonna set the handbrake on the tank car. We'll uncouple. My trusty uncutting tool. Okay. All right, 1980, pull back, clear to turn out for 105. Conductor's on the ground. Okay, so I had to go off camera to think out my move here. And looking at my train is blocked improperly. But it is actually going to be an convenient accident. So let me explain. So don't forget we have the 2 boxcars on the runaround. So what we're going to have to do is put those boxcars on the main, run around those 2 boxcars. This tank car has to go to the steam plant. These 2 have to go to 108, and then this one to the steam plant. So it's actually going to work out good. So I can get this in the steam plant out of the way, do the movements for 108, then come back and grab this to put it to the steam plant. So I think we're actually setting ourselves up better than if we had blocked it properly. So, all right, let me go down and get the crew's going to come down and pick up these cars so we can start making these moves. All right, so actually, I'm going to push the boxcars out of the runaround, pick up the tank car, run around it on the main. That'll give me maximum distance spacing. So we're going to do it that way. Okay, release the handbrake. Okay, we're going to open the end of the turnaround. We're going to open the turnout on the end of the runaround. And we're going to push down that way. All right, so the brakeman's going to get off and act as the flagman. He's going to flag the crossing, light a fusee again. Okay, 1980, you're clear to come forward. One half car length. Couple and connect. One 1980, pull forward one car length. I'm sorry, we're backing up one car length. We gotta back down. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not even clear of the runaround inside the plant yet, so I gotta continue to push forward. Okay. If you give it to them, you have to take it back. So that's why I'm not even clearing the crossing. All right, 1980, pull back 4 car lengths. Two more. One more. That's good right there. All right, so now what we're going to do is I got to get that pin back up. Okay, we're going to back down and put the car on that pin. Okay, we're going to set a handbrake on that tank car. All right, and we're going to back up, clear of, into the plant. We're going to back up, clear into the plant. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we're going to set a handbrake on the boxcar. On the yellow rail boxcar. Uncouple. All right, 1980. Conductor and brakeman are on the ground. We're going to pull back clear of the crossover to the runaround. That's good right there. All right, they're going to open that crossover. All right, 1980, pull forward. All right, the brakeman's going to open the turnout for the runaround. The conductor's walking back up to the cars. 1980, pull forward, clear the runaround. Okay. We're going to go ahead and, brakeman's going to go ahead and close the turnout for the runaround. We're going to back down a couple onto that tank car. Okay. One half. That's good, on the pin. Let me check my couple. Okay, so now we don't got to worry about handbrakes because it's already set. 1980, pull forward, clear the runaround. Conductor's going to meet us over here by the crossover. It's good right there, 1980. All right. Open that crossover. And then we're going to back down in here to the steam plant, which is that track closest to you where those hoppers are. All right, 1980. Conductor's on the rear. Turnout's line for the steam plant. Push back 5 car lengths to a couple. There we go. All right. Now the 2 hopper cars that are in there have their handbrake set, so they're going to hold this tank car for us. We'll just uncouple and leave it here. All right, 1980, let's pull forward. All right, so crew's going to go down and grab those next 2 tank cars for 108, and they're going to come back. We're going to stay right here. One more 1980. That's good right there. All right, conductors are going to open the turnout for 108. Brakeman's going to stay on the ground. 1980. That sounds weird. 1980. Turn us line for 108. Conductor's on the rear. Brakeman's on the ground. Push forward to my mark. All right, that was another thinking break, but we're just going to keep doing what our original plan is. We're going to push these two hoppers into 108, making room, go back, grab the two boxcars on the main, go back down, pick up the last tank car, come up, run around that group of cars, switch out the steam plant, and then we'll be ready for our next move. Brakeman and the conductor are going to get on. They're going to ride down and pick up the tank car that's on the other side of Route 37. Alright, so the brakeman and the conductor are getting off. The brakeman's going to go take the switch stand. Conductor's going to go over and set a handbrake on the boxcar. I need to uncouple the train. Alright, 1980. We're going to back up clear of the crossover. Alright, brakeman's going to open that turnout, and 1980 is going to run around the train. Conductor's going to meet him over by the tank car. Alright, brakeman's going to open that turnout so we can switch the steam plant. (1980) push back for 3 car lengths. To a couple. One more. 1/2. Brakeman's going to walk back. He's going to release the handbrakes on the 2 covered hoppers that's holding everything. Now we're going to go ahead and do our switches here in the steam plant. So we need to pull them 2 hoppers out of the back. And we'll put the tank cars in. And we'll put the hoppers back in front of that. For our to prepare us to put our train back together to get out of here. Okay. I had to take another thought break. So here's what we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to continue with the plan. We're going to push those back in to the steam plant. Then we'll come back down, grab the 2 outgoing at 108. And we'll put them on the main in the plant. Back down, couple onto the boxcar, the 2 hoppers. Pull them in position, run around them. Get on the head end of those. Back down, grab the 2 outgoing at the steam plant. Then we'll have to go down to Route 37 and pick up that boxcar that's sitting, which is supposed to be on the end of the train, but there's no room to switch it around in the plant. So we're just going to have to get some track down in Lakehurst and do a run around in Lakehurst to put all the cars in position to go back to Browns. Okay, so let's do it. All right, 1980, we're going to pull clear of 108. All right, 1980, push forward to a couple. 2 car lengths. Conductor and brakeman on the ground. One more. Okay. So now we're going to have to release the handbrake on that yellow boxcar. And we're going to push forward. 1980, conductor and brakeman on the ground. Push forward, clear of the crossover. Okay, set a handbrake. Okay, I'm going to back up. All right, we're going to open the crossover. All right, 1980. Hold it up, clear the turnout for right about there. All right, we're going to grab these 2 hopper cars, pull them out with us. All right. 1980, come back 3 car lengths into the steam plant. All right, give me 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Okay. On a couple. All right, don't forget, we don't have to worry about handbrakes because we have the 2 tank cars were holding the handbrakes, so we're just going to pull forward. 1980, conductor is on the rear, brakeman's on the ground, pull forward, clear the steam plant. Actually, 1980, we're going all the way out the runaround. Start the bell. Okay. Okay. Our conductor's riding on the rear with the brakeman. Okay. We'll couple and connect. Gonna release the handbrake on the yellow box car. And now we're going to back up into the plant clear. So before we start our brake test, let's go over our paperwork. We're going to check our switch list here, and it looks like I did all my jobs. I picked up the 2 hoppers, spotted the 2 tanks. Yep, looks like we got everything done on the switch list. Now I'm going to go ahead and change out my car cards. These are the ones I brought with me. So we're going to pick these up. Okay, covered hoppers in 105 in the back, along with this guy. These car cards over in the steam plant. This one's at 108. This one's also at 108. This one's in the steam plant, and this one's at 105. So there you go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get into our air brake test. So, just to let you know, I'm probably going to get comments. I always get questions. Is what am I using for the for all those sounds that you're hearing? So, this is an program that's running on Ed Kapuscinski's webpage. It's at Conrail1285.com. I'll post a link up in the comment section. It's not an app. It's actually a website. So, what I'm doing is I'm running Safari through my iPhone, and I'm running the web page through the phone, so I can just have it here in the room. So it allows you all those functions of conducting brake tests and setting handbrakes and etc. Go over there and check out his web page. It's a great tool for switching. It makes it more realistic and makes it more fun. The big thing that I find there's a tendency when you're doing switching is to, hey, let's just fly through and get the job done. But this app, because it's got the timing sequence, it makes you wait and slow it down. It makes you enjoy it more. All right, so I'm going into the air brake ops. We're going to go with an initial air brake test, and that is because the train is all new. These cars have been sitting for a couple weeks or a couple days, and we need to do a complete test. We have 7 cars in our train line. We're going to go ahead and charge the train line. Okay, so now we're at 90 psi. We're going to go ahead and set the brakes. And we're holding them for 15 seconds on the fast clock. And our brake pressure is reading 70 psi. So now we're going to confirm the pressure at the EOT, and that's 66 pounds. We're going to visually inspect. Make sure that all of our brakes are applied. All right, we've completed. All brakes are applied. We're going to release the brakes. Now we're going to visually inspect that all brake shoes are released. All right, test is successful, and we're all done with our air brake test. Okay, so we did our air brake test. We did all our paperwork. All the turnouts are in normal position for the plant. So we're ready to leave. We're going to go down to the end of the Toms River Industrial. We're going to call dispatch, get our new Form D, cancel our old Form D, and we're also going to get some extra track to run around down in Lakehurst. All right. So brakeman's going to get off, stop the traffic, and light a fuse. All right, 1980, let's go. Now let's stop and pick up the brakeman. Okay, and head on out. Okay, so we're down into Lakehurst. We're at the end of the Toms River Industrial, so we're going to call dispatch and get a new Form D. All right, so we're calling up dispatch. We got our Form D. It's going to be C103. It's going to be 2 CNE, number 1980, crew the SA-39. Circle line 2. We're going to operate in the south direction on single track between Route 88 and Browns. And then we're going to operate in both directions on single track between Route 88 and milepost 66. That'll give us enough room to do our runaround and utilize the runaround at Lakehurst. All right, time effective is going to be 1700. Dispatcher is going to be JD. And we're going to call back as soon as we get clear of the TRI to cancel Form D C102. All right. So we are clear of the Toms River Industrial. We're going to line and lock that turnout for the main. Tell dispatch we're clear of the TRI. We're going to get cancellation on Form D C102, and that's going to be at 17:21 hours. All right, crew's going to get off. They're going to set some handbrakes. It's a pretty flat and level grade, so we're going to just set the one handbrake right here on the rear because the brakeman's right here closing the turnout. So we'll set that handbrake on that covered hopper you see under the bridge. Conductor's going to get off. He's going to uncouple. All right, everyone, so the crew of the SA-39 is back in the Browns yard. I'm going to take a cancellation on Form DC-103 at 1830 hours. Dispatcher's Desmond. All right, everyone, so there you go. Lots to talk about. So hopefully you made it to the end. You're going to listen to this because so what happened was we got down to Toms River Industrial. I got into the plant and started working on the job, and everything was a complete disaster. So it's amazing how Sayreville was beautiful. Ciba Geigy was a disaster. So what I determined happened was this area hasn't been operated. Ciba hasn't been operated real operations-wise since I put in all the scenery. So there were some flangeways that didn't have enough clearance from the ballast, and then I ran into a huge issue with the turnouts. I discussed it in a update video. I'm making an update playlist. So as I'm referring back to the short update videos, just go to the update playlist and you can click on the video to watch more in depth. But briefly, what I determined was all of the original Circuitron Tortoise springs were too weak to shift to points. So what I did is I stopped shooting the video because I do have integrity, and I don't feel right when I use movie magic to make movements happen. I want to operate the layout exactly. I want it to come out on camera exactly as how it happens. So I don't want to lie and cheat and, you know, 050 cars in the positions just for the sake of the camera. So really started playing on me, so I stopped shooting. Took 2 days, went back in there, pulled down all the Circuitron motor, Tortoise motors, put in the 032 music wire, made new springs, put them all back up in there. Three of the four turnouts were operating perfectly. There was still the one over at 108 that was giving me a little trouble. And so I had to get in there with the jeweler's file and clean up the points and adjust them, and then they started working. So after that, that's when I came back. I deleted all that video and started right from the Toms River Industrial when we went in with the Form D. And then everything that you saw on camera here is exactly how it happened. So with that being said, then everything looks like it's going good. And the coupler on the front of the locomotive, about halfway through the job, really started giving me trouble. I think I may have popped it too hard with the uncoupling tool when I was twisting it. I may have actually either thrown the jaws off or maybe even lost the spring. So I kind of nursed it through because I was almost done. I mean, it was within the last 15 minutes of the ops. And I was just like, all right, let's just get it through. And that locomotive is going to have to go back to the workbench to get a new coupler set. And but other than that, other than the turnouts and the problems with the locomotive coupler, it was so much fun. Oh man, you know what? It's so cool switching in there. It's just like cavernous with all the big tall buildings, and you're looking down on everything. So that's why I kind of gave you that perspective that I'm looking at with the camera. And it was just great. It was a lot of fun to finally switch in a heavy industry with a bunch of scenery. And a lot of different things you got to realize now about reaching over to uncouple. There's a lot of places that it's hard to uncouple because of, well, and the other things I got to remember is the camera and the equipment is in my way of, so I'm reaching around the camera and over the top. I had to get a step ladder out at one point. And, but yeah, super, really good time. Yeah, that's what I needed. I feel really, you know, despite all of the disasters that happened in making this video, I feel really good about it. And I'm sitting here looking at it and smiling because it was a lot of fun. And I've come to the determination in the middle of this video, I'm like, you know what? When I'm done shooting this series and I get it up, all the video out of here, I'm going to put all the camera equipment away and get them out of the way, get everything out of here, and I'm just going to run a complete op session just by myself, just for fun, because I want to really tweak and see where the little problems are that's kind of not, that's hard for me to see with the camera and stuff in the way. And yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy that. That's going to be so much fun. So yeah, that's how I'm going to try and work through and find all the problems and fix them. Is just once we're all done filming, is just get it done. I got to get it done. Like the layout, there's little issues that I've been just like, I'll do it later. Let's get the videos done. Let's do the videos. And look, I'm here and stuff's just not done. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to start concentrating on fixing the little operational problems. Okay, and so another problem that I noted was the handbrake mechanism, which is that tortoise that pushes the pin up and holds those cars on the grade. It's too close to the road. I guess when I was putting scenery in, I thought it was in the right position, but now that I'm actually holding a car, when you hold the car, the coupler actually projects into the roadway and blocks traffic. So it's a little unrealistic looking, I know, from the watching the video, but yeah, so my solution is just going to be move it. I don't think it's going to be too hard to move. Just got to get the time to get under there and move it. So yeah, I guess for the next series, that'll definitely be fixed. So the other thing that I was very happy with and add a lot of realism and really slowed down my movements was the Logic Rail Fuse E circuit that I put in. Man, that's so much fun, is you know, pushing a button, lighting the fuse to protect the crossing, and it's just another little dynamic of realism that it really made it that much more fun. I don't know though. My railroading friends watching, I used a buttload of flares on that movement. I don't know, tell me what you think, but oh man, it was a lot, that added a lot of good fun to the scene. So the other thing is time. So we started at 09:48 hours in the morning. So we're going to say that's a 9 o'clock call. running all the way down and back. Time cancellation on my final Form D was at 1830 hours, so 6:30 in the p.m. So that would have been about 9.5 hours. I think that's a pretty good run. Now, it may not be exact because, you know, I had to stop the fast clock and restart it because of the work that I did for the day and a half. So, yeah, but pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think I might actually have found the solution to that switching puzzle. So, realistically, this area in Ciba Geigy, I would have loved to have had one more foot. And I was contemplating actually cutting a hole in the wall down there by the steam plant to give me that extra inches for maybe like one more car length. And I ran the switch job. It's really not a switch job. It's more like a switching puzzle. You know, like they like Model Railroader kind of coined the phrase, because you really got to a lot of spots you got to move one car at a time in and out. So it's more like a switching puzzle. And I'm still kind of toying with the idea of, you know what, let me cut that hole because I'd love to have like just one more car length on that main, and that would make a lot more possibilities. I think in my mind I might have been able to take the car with the EOT device and actually been able to do the runaround in the plant. So, and then lastly, the last thing I want to talk about, because I kind of expect some comments, is the end of train device idler car. So you have to treat it like a caboose, because it's not like I can move the end of train device to another car. It's kind of difficult because it's got a board with wiring and battery, and so it's really different. You can't do it in N-scale. So I kind of made that a caboose in retrospect. When you think about it, it's really just a caboose, but I'm disguising it as a modern car with an end of train device. So when you're doing your operations on the layout here, you have to treat it like a caboose. So that's kind of like the best solution I can think of to do that. Otherwise, I backdate the layout to 84 and we just say we're going with cabooses, we're going with 4-person crews. So I kind of like that idea, so I'm thinking about it. I'm not too sure. Put your thoughts up in the comments. What do you think? Stay in 1988, use the end of train device with a couple of cabooses here and there for backing moves, kind of like a shoving platform. Should I backdate the layout to 84? Then I can do away with end of train devices and just use cabooses, and then I can kind of work in some more of the rainbow paint schemes. So put it up there. Let's talk about it. All right. So next month, we're going to be running the WJSA-39. That's going to be the local that calls out of Browns and heads down the the Amboy Secondary in Dayton to service the facilities down there, which is the BASF plant and the RJR Foods. And that's going to put a wrap on this video. So if you've seen this video for the first time, you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell for the notifications. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And otherwise, that's all I have for you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.